So we are now live on YouTube, and everyone joining in, welcome once again. I know you're tired of seeing me every day, but you have to keep with it. Um, Today is very special. Once again, we have great folks from one of the products which I personally love, and this is something which all of you need right now because all of you have a lot of content which you don't know what to do about. All of you have a lot of social accounts which are sitting right now doing nothing. So welcome Ricardo and Katya from Content Radar. Both of you, thank you so much first of all for doing this because community was waiting for you guys to kind of showcase from how the product looks from inside. And thank you for taking your time from your busy schedules to showcase the product. And yeah, we are very much grateful you're here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Karen. It's definitely a highlight of the week.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving to all the US folks who are joining us despite having a
Yes.
bank
Happy
holiday.
Thanksgiving. Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving and happy Friday to everyone else in the world
Yep.
and
And today's
Friendsgiving,
Black
maybe.
Friday. Today's Black Friday. Today's
Oh yeah.
29th,
So
which is an auspicious day for us.
very
uh,
much so.
so yeah,
Yeah,
welcome once again.
that's
So
why we all are wearing black, I guess. The three of
yeah.
us.
So yeah, thank you and welcome. It's good to have you folks.
Perfect. Yeah, we really look forward to, join forces with you when you reached out and when we met at the Web Summit. It's a great energy, great vibe. We love your uh, we love how you are on a mission and very, very supportive. It's a true partnership and it's really cool to partner up with you for Black Friday and Cyber Monday period. Um, yeah, so we are the founders of Content Radar, Katya and Ricardo. Previously to starting our own startup, we had an honor to have helped build three European unicorns. We worked at Ricardo worked at Get Your Guide very early and built internal marketing tools at Zalando and Spotify. And I worked at Spotify since very early days, Series B, and until it grew to a very big, like post IPO company with 8,000 employees. So yeah, when we left, became friends after, and started Content Radar a bit more than 1 year ago.
Yeah, and yeah, as for myself, I'm Ricardo, originally from Italy. My background is in product design and product management, and sometimes I did code too. Although I like to tell people don't ship my code, but yeah, I do that too at Content Radar. So I'm having fun with that as well. And yeah, with everybody in the team actually, not just Katya and I, but we also have Trisha, who's our marketing specialist, and two engineers, Tim and Sebastian.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
and
That's a good team. That's a good, vibrant team. And another thing to note, everyone who's going to watch this, is they are backed by a lot of good people as well, content creator. Because when I saw the list of people who backed you, it's like it's blew my mind. I said, dude, this is a big thing. So yeah, how did you crack that code? Because that's not easy for a new product.
yeah, well, my background is sales, biz dev, a bit of marketing too. And actually, when Ricardo and I started to hang out after leaving Spotify, we got interested into angel investing. So we also did a couple of small angel investments in companies related to tech companies, future of work, dev tooling, creator space. And so I guess we were excited about the space and exploring it and had a bit of network and bit of experience. And yeah, we managed to raise a little pre-seed round last year from investors we are proud to have on board. So we have investors from the UK, from the US, such as Hustle Fund or Unpopular Ventures. We have investors from Berlin, from my native Ukraine too, Vesna Capital. Shout out to them. Andrei Fedorov, who is a Ukrainian David Ogilvy. He has advertising agencies, and it's great to have him on board. And we have angels who worked for Spotify, Canva, one of the co-founders of Pitch.com, and many other friends and like professional contacts we can yeah, anytime reach out to and get some sparring.
Yeah, that's a blessing. Not everyone gets. Yeah, I think that that's very good. So cool. Let's jump into Content Radar. I'm very excited. Let's show people the meat, what it's made of, and once people start joining in, we will have some questions from them. So let's showcase your back end, and front end, whatever you want to talk about. And how did you come up with the name? Is what I ask people. I know it's pretty simple, but how did you come up with the name? Did you come in a room, write in the whiteboard, hey, this is going to be your name, or how did you come up with that?
Uh, Good question. So we had a lot of names we entertained. Actually, a few, I would say two that we started with, but realized pretty soon were not really feasible, either for like copyright or yeah, similar reasons. And we had our list of like names that were dear to us, and of course we played a lot with matching words because we didn't want also something that was hard to pronounce or type. And actually Katya made a suggestion at some point of like, hey,
Hmm.
what about we do content, because yeah, it's a lot about content, and radar because of course we like to keep people in the radar, in the loop, informed, and yeah,
Hmm.
that made a lot of sense. So I would say that's pretty much how it came to be. Perhaps it was a bit more chaotic than that, but
Hmm.
actually, yeah, I have to credit Katya for coming up with a name.
That's
And
awesome.
it
That's
had to
good
be.
news.
I think it had to be also kind of easy to remember and spell
Hmm.
for many different people from different countries. So you should be quite sure like which letter it is and so on. So you would remember it because this is your branding, right? In the early days, it's your website. I mean, and then to find an available domain that would be affordable. That was also
Yeah,
quite tricky.
makes
So yeah,
sense. Makes sense.
yeah.
All right, awesome. That's good to hear, Ovid, because I ask these questions. Sometimes there are some weird names which people have, and I said, okay, how did you come up with that? And now you have a very good name, so which is very much pronounceable. So yeah, that's not an issue for us. Okay, so let's get inside. Yeah, you have something to say.
Yeah, maybe also there is a book that analyzes stats about the unicorn startups, and it's like an interesting statistics that tells you if your startup name contains a C, it's the likelihood that you will become a unicorn or successful is higher. I mean, it's probably just a coincidence, but that we found out later. So it was like, hmm, we'll
Uh,
take that. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Cool. So let's go. Ricardo, Katia, if you want to, anyone who wants to showcase the product, you are welcome. Stage is yours. Feel free to come and showcase the baby.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can share the screen and then yeah, we can both
Yep,
Mm.
yep,
go
yep,
over.
yep.
Yeah, maybe to say a couple of words. Yeah, our beautiful web app. So everything started with an idea to have a unified workspace, like an operating system for content marketing that would infer your context, your tone of voice, your target audience, and that would allow you to create the omni-channel content plan and assets in basically in like a few clicks.
Mm,
Um, and this is the materialization of like first steps towards the grand vision of this proactive marketing OS that we want to build.
Yeah, and
got it.
so this is the dashboard that, well, from our own account actually. So yeah, there will be some things here that are actually created just for testing purposes. But basically, this is the dashboard where you can get started with creating content and have also an overview of the up and coming posts. As you can see, we are heavy LinkedIn users ourselves. Um, and then up here, you have the choice of creating posts from scratch, like LinkedIn, X, and even recently we introduced plain posts, mostly for things like PRs or even newsletters if people want to try to write them. It's not yet optimized for that, but we want to allow people to actually do several things within Content Radar, even outside of what we designed it for sometimes. And below that, we have various AI tools that we worked on, and we keep adding them. As you can see, we added just this week pretty much a couple more relating to LinkedIn. And the first one is probably our sort of main tool of choice, which is repurposing content, which I will get to in a moment. Then we have the ability to create, I like to say, opinionated graphics. Specifically, we do that for LinkedIn in the form of carousels and tarot cards, and then for X posts, we can create tarot cards as well. And then recently we started to venture also in the SEO world, and we are starting to dip our feet in that with the Generate Blog Outlines tool, which allows basically people to come up with new ideas, new keywords they can experiment with. Yeah, and then of course, after the dashboard, we have an assistant, which is in preview. We're still finessing it, but and as you can see, we're playing with it a lot. Yeah, and we use it sometimes ourselves for research, for content, and even generating content suggestions ourselves. So my suggestion is, yeah, to go and try it and see what it brings to you. But yeah, we still have a lot of work to finalize it. So more news to come here on this front in the next few weeks. Apart from that, we also have good old, I like to say, post management. And so that takes shape in a table of posts that were created and are scheduled, as well as a content calendar where we can have an overview of all the posts that are going to be published on any given day. You can have, of course, various creature comforts like labels, who schedule the post, as well as what time is it scheduled for. Then one of the other sections that we actually recently promoted within the app, because before it was buried in the settings, is the notion of profiles, where you can actually, as you can see here, set up profiles dedicated to either a specific brand or person, and go about actually defining things like the tone of voice, as well as brand elements like colors and even fonts, together with logos or picture profile. And yeah, of course, manage also your integrations. Right now, we just have a link directly with LinkedIn, but we will expand this section as well. Another thing you can do is also load up a few web pages that belong to you and have us generating the tone of voice for you on your behalf. So this is basically a shortcut for you to get started pretty quickly. And this allows us also, together with other things, to create content out of the box that is more tailored on your own writing style, both as a brand or as a person.
I have a question over here, and many of the folks who have a question that the sources, right, you set before you begin any content creation inside content radar, right? Because the sources and tone of voice, whatever you add over here, it's what defines how the content output is going to be. Right?
Yes, it's one of the factors, essentially. There are other things that we do,
Yeah,
especially with companies. We try to understand them better from the outside as well, in the background.
got it. All right,
But this drives primarily the writing style output.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and then last but not least, analytics. Right now we have a view for both LinkedIn and X, and you can flick through personal profiles as well as LinkedIn pages. So we're very happy to actually being able to provide some analytics for personal profiles, which actually is not quite easy to come by. And yeah, so right now here we're mainly collecting a lot of feedback to see how we can improve it, and also how can we connect that with some of the insights that we're collecting recently in terms of providing guidance in terms of how a post performed and what could be things you can do to improve its performance next. Yeah, And I might get into settings as well, but that's probably a little bit boring. Let's go maybe quickly through all the tools that we have right now.
Yeah, let's do one thing. Let's do a real time, repurposing, because what we have, kind of showcase people is that, all right, so if you have a content piece, right, and you don't have a lot of time to kind of write content, and our main theme for today's session is never had to start from scratch again. So what would you do? Let's if you have to create, content quickly for Indian X from a YouTube video or from a blog post, from real-time blog post. How can they do that, right? So that's what we want to showcase, and how much time it's actually going to take. So I literally have a stopwatch to kind of see start from, okay, the moment you hit the URL and the moment everything comes out, how much time did you guys took,
I
right?
couldn't
And then
buy.
we kind
I'm
of
Let's
prepared myself.
let's hope the internet is fast on the AI
yeah.
generations.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing because literally we can post it on social that you literally took 50 seconds to come up with content, and there you go, right?
Yeah, precisely. And so let's punch in a URL. I just used our example one to get started
Cool.
quickly.
So right now what you're doing is you're actually taking up a blog post which is available on your site, and you are
Exactly.
now repurposing it into a LinkedIn post, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And we can do that and of course output maybe a shorter, medium, or longer type of post, as well as take, instead of like a single post route, actually generate multiple posts.
Okay.
That will actually tend to break down a post into more topics, also extending, I would say, the life shelf of that blog post.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, together with that, you can go about generating X posts, be
Mm.
it a single post or thread. And yeah, we also leave the option of a plain post just to basically allow people to take maybe that content and put it into, like I said, a newsletter or mention that in a PR.
So if the plain post will be like it will just be a text. It won't be anything specific to a platform. It's just like, okay,
Exactly.
you have the content which came out
Yeah,
after you did all the magic behind the scenes.
exactly. So yeah, as I maybe briefly hinted at before, we plan to introduce more content formats and platforms. So yeah, this is us adding some wiggle room already in the product to
Got it.
add
Makes
extra flexibility essentially.
all right. Makes sense. Yeah.
And then something we overhauled recently is also being able to change the upload language. So especially when you're trying to promote a product or service within your own market, um, it's helpful to still be able to take something that was written in another language and then write that in the one you're interested in. Right now, we support, I would say, some of the sort of larger languages in Europe and then South America. We are looking to expand this list actually,
Mm.
because there are for a couple of these languages a few optimizations that we also add in. And so yeah, we plan to add
Yeah.
more. So if anybody has actually feedback about what to add next, we will be happy
You
to
need,
look
yeah,
into.
come Asia, come to Asia then. You need to add Japanese, Korean, Hindi. Yeah,
Yeah,
I gave you like three, and Chinese,
Mhm.
which is you can add Cantonese, because that's again, like I think 27% of the whole world. So you can add that. So yeah, I think many languages. And the thing is, you added Brazilian Portuguese, gives an idea about how much you care about the audience. Because I showed this yesterday to someone, and they said that it was our partner. They said that their mother-in-law is Brazilian, and she would like this because many people they don't differentiate between the Portuguese spoken in Portugal versus the Portuguese spoken in Brazil. The both of them are a bit different. So
oh
I
yes,
thought this is a great idea to showcase and divide the Portuguese into these two countries. So yeah, and that's amazing to see.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and when we get to other languages, I think it's going to get very interesting. Also thinking of Hindi, right?
Yeah,
And how far do you want to extend it, or can? So yeah, that's going to be a really cool little challenge, I would say.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's awesome.
Big
Yeah,
challenge.
you already thought of pre-hand. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, we can go ahead, I would say, and generate a few posts and give this a try. Maybe let's do both LinkedIn and X. So yeah, we fetch the content. We actually take a while to analyze it and just see, okay, instead of just trying to summarize it outright, what can we do to actually really extract useful information from here? And yes, so we have a few, 6 post suggestions that were made for us. I would say it was pretty quick. Yeah, and basically this is right now a good time typically for people to choose the variation they like the most, or go about saving them all one after the other. And yeah, we're also working on actually saving all these suggestions, because we realize right now the user experience is a bit lacking in this case, because you sort of leave the tool and then you lose these suggestions. So I would say in the next few days, this will improve as well.
Got it.
Of course, if there are some changes you want to do immediately, you can do so through the edit suggestion function, and you can update the content and save the post right away. Yeah,
And
and then
it took just 13 seconds for it to do it. So
that's
that's
great.
amazing. That's your marketing creative right now, right there. Run it as an ad on Facebook again. Then took us 13 seconds to create content.
Yeah, I never thought of
That's
that
it.
actually. Maybe it's something we should mention.
Like in a Snap.
Yeah, it's
In
now.
Carousel takes a bit longer because it's graphics.
Yes, but actually
Yeah.
it spins out stuff like this pretty quickly for your account. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still a lot that we want to do here. For example, helping you pre-schedule posts from here directly, because of course saving a post means you have an intent to schedule it soon, and so that's something we'll be helping you with. And yeah, we always work on the quality of the output as well.
Okay.
There are a few changes that we introduced recently with the latest 2 tools that we want to bring to repurposing as well. For example, allowing you to choose from different templates, perhaps even the ones you use yourself if you have your own templates. And yeah, just basically make this a better tool for more people, right? So we will keep investing time in repurposing. Something else we're going to add very soon is the ability to not just generate graphics and expand that set of templates for graphics, but also generating images. A lot of times it's good to accompany the post with some captivating imagery, and yeah, we plan to add that option as well very soon.
Makes sense.
Yeah, maybe also relevant to show that you can add people to the workspace, invite your colleagues and external collaborators. Yeah,
this is especially helpful if, for example, you have a copywriter that's working with you, or a few other people just collaborating on like approvals and so on. So of course it's always helpful to be able to have a collaborative environment.
That's good.
looking good. Thanks.
Yep, it is.
And what else? Yeah, would love to hear feedback, like while people are using the tool. So there is like leave feedback form on the left bottom corner that goes straight into our team Slack, so we can react immediately. That's better than pinging us individually on LinkedIn. Although, like, please connect with us on LinkedIn too, and let's be friends. Would love to get to know you. Yeah, but for suggestions and feature requests, technical difficulties, any ideas, like please use this. And then maybe for agencies and larger teams, what's also relevant are the like auto reshare features, exactly, post actions, where you
Yeah,
can not only schedule first comment. Yeah,
but also other things.
yeah.
Let's get straight to that. So yeah, you can basically pre-program certain actions on LinkedIn, like
Hmm.
yeah, likes, including reactions, reposts, and comments. Just because we realized that giving a post um, initial engagement from you and your colleagues, if you have, of course, you're working on team, um, really helps a post taking off, especially in those first early moments. And so we provided these tools to help you do that in a programmatic way. And then, yeah, I guess this brings us to the post editor view. It's pretty busy, but because there is a lot you can do here, of course, I
Mm-hmm.
we constantly redesign it as well to make it more pleasing on the
Okay.
eye. But
Okay.
basically, on top, we created a section dedicated to getting a preview of the post, especially on platforms like LinkedIn. It's really, really important to see
Mm-hmm.
what the first 3 lines will look like, because you will see, okay, does this post look like something I would want to engage with?
Yeah.
And so,
Um, Got it. So I thing is, let's say, so someone, if they post it from there, I mean, can they go and like format it? Because right now, if you do format it, I think you need to like press enter, right? So can you format it from here and then make sure it's posted there, or it just posts like this? Okay.
yeah, it's a full-on editor.
Hmm.
You can, well,
It's
maybe
full.
I should
Okay, this is an
I shouldn't
editor.
write
Okay.
test. Yeah, you can also rewrite sections with it, or the
Hmm.
entirety of it, with some other AI utilities that we built in.
All right.
Uh,
That's amazing.
for LinkedIn only, for now, we added the ability to create faux italic and bold. Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
Twitter, of course, with Twitter, without Musk's permission, you cannot do shit, right?
pretty much, pretty much.
But yeah, I think this is good. And yeah, and people are very interested in carousels. Let me tell you why. All right, because last year when we had Supergrow, they had the carousels feature, and people only took a lot of that product because of carousels. So they were very interested to know how your carousels work,
Mhm.
and like is it can they remove the branding, can they edit it, can they change the template type. So can you show us the carousel aspect of it, and then we can then go to the rest of the features and pick some questions which people have posted right now, and
Yeah,
then go from there. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So maybe let
Awesome.
me try to create one from scratch.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that's how many people actually engage with this feature together with repurposing.
And what
So
are you seeing in the backend? Because of course you have all the analytics of how the usage is going on. So what do you
Mhm.
think? How many people are actually using carousels from your uh,
Yeah, it's
bucket of agencies?
it's a very good question. I would say 30 to 40%
Yeah,
actually.
that's a
So
big one, big chunk.
yeah, it's a
Wow.
pretty big
Okay.
chunk. I mean, we use it quite often ourselves too. I would say probably in the same ratio now that I think about it. Um, and yeah, it's mostly carousel and tarot card. Like I mentioned,
Oh, okay.
we will
Okay.
bring in more templates soon, but
Got it.
these are the first two ones that we bring. The idea is that we are able to basically help you generate something quick without having to create something from scratch, like on Canva. Of course, even with Canva, you can create graphics with AI or
Mm,
edit with text. But here, everything is done at the same time as the moment of creating a post and scheduling it.
makes sense.
So let's say I create a carousel and yeah, I want to generate it with AI. So we help you essentially taking that post and converting it into a carousel. Um, Now this post is quite short, so yeah, the carousel will be also short. Uh, but
Mm,
essentially,
right.
what we do is we try to pre-fill it as well as we can, giving it a structure of like cover, card, and then a few slides that explain the content of the post. You can
Mm,
from here then. take all the properties that you've set in the profile. Like, as you can see, there are some custom fonts and colors. These are our own brand colors. So if in the profile we set this to, oops, oops. If we in the profile we set it to pink, wait, let me. Okay, little issue here, but I'll check this later.
I think even I received. I think it will take time. Once you like go to another guide, it will change it back.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
Let's change it manually.
Yep.
Yeah, there you have it. So yeah, if we had, for example, green, this lovely green, by the way, as our own brand color, it would be applied automatically.
Got it. Okay.
Of course, we can still change fonts and even add a badge. In this case, it's going to be our own profile. We have some custom settings here to make the watermark always visible. So
Okay.
actually, other people will not get that, the paying customers, because this is more for the people in the free plan. Yeah, so yeah, you can take this and then move the slide up and down. You can delete the slide as well, of course, and really do all the basics that you can expect to do to be able to make in an editor like this.
And can they remove that branding over there made with Content Radar?
You mean the watermark down here?
Yeah, watermark, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
paying
by
users
default,
don't have it.
yeah, by default, people that are paying subscribers don't have it. It's a special settings that we have to, of course, make sure that every time this comes out with a little badge.
And the ITD folks?
Sorry?
Can the ITD customers remove it?
So
That's what the question.
that's a very good question. I mean, right now we have the badge, right? And
yeah,
you can set preferences for that. Let me kind of hide it and then show it again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, this is a badge. Okay, well you're calling it a badge inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy to get feedback on the naming as well.
Yeah, I thought that badge is like something that you will put on the top. Yeah, so this is basically a watermark inside, right?
Exactly.
Got
And
it.
then
Okay.
here, of course, I can say, content. Oops. Yeah, I'll check on that. And okay, it was just updating. Yeah, so badges, you can add it with your own profile picture or logo. So, I mean, our logo here is square, but of course, if you have a longer logo or taller, we will accommodate for that as well.
And they can change the fonts, or that's coming up in the future. They can change it.
So you can already change the font. The caveat is right now you have to upload your own brand font because there is so much variation, right?
Okay.
That we decided to start with that. Quite soon, we will add a pre-selection of fonts. So like the classic ones, Helvetica, maybe a serif font, and so on and so forth.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah, and this is pretty much it for now for Carousel.
And this now automatically publishes once you decide to save it, then it publishes to LinkedIn, right? You don't have to download it as a PDF and then upload it there.
Exactly. We just left. We added download Carousel as a PDF because if people want to make additional edits somewhere else, or
makes sense. Yeah,
simply want to take the post and post it themselves, they can do that as well. We try to have enough flexibility essentially, and I think it's just fair at the end of the day to let people download it as a PDF.
Got it. That's good.
But people can directly post it or pre-schedule as well.
Yeah, makes sense. And so you also have integration with Notion, right? And that integration is a native integration, right? So if you folks if you integrate and you can pick up any Notion page or any project and then create content from there too, right?
Precisely. So yeah, as you could see before, you can do so from repurpose.
Yeah, there you go.
Here I can basically pick any of the pages that I decided to share with Content Radar, because every time you connect Notion, you can choose what you share and don't share. For example, in our own Notion, we have some information about, like, say, HR, right? Of course, this doesn't make sense that it goes into a marketing tool and
Yeah, yeah,
pick
yeah,
that
yeah.
page from the
That's
selection.
good. That's good. Cool. Let's do one thing now. Let's take two questions, and then we will go to your rest of the post ideas, post writer. Quickly, we can go through
Wonderful.
that, and then people are more interested about what are you guys doing next, because that's what they're looking for. All right. So we have a question from Richard. He's waiting since long, so let's take that out. Sorry, I missed the first 20 minutes. No worries, you can watch the replay again. Not sure if this was answered. How does the repurposing here in content data differ from content from other AI tools? Basically, your differentiation factor.
Yeah, exactly. It's what basically we chose to help people with first. Let's say, just because we realized a lot of people are already sitting on a lot of content, and that content actually has value over time.
Yeah.
And yeah, we want to help you basically getting the most out of it in a longer term as well sense.
All right. Um, and there's one question from Jared. Any chance of creating templates based on the best posts to generate to book more calls, like a post on a problem, then post on a case study? That's kind of a use case for you.
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, we were going to make progress in this sense. So already, for example, if I go to the post writer, I can choose a few types of templates. They don't all have the same level of intent, but actually I will take this question as feedback and add these other use cases to the tool. I think it's really helpful for us to get this kind of feedback to fold that into what we're building. Um, yeah, so I think at the end of the day, a lot of these posts, especially on LinkedIn, really help funders or B2B professionals to actually get more leads, right, at the end of the day. And so anything that can help people doing that, we will do immediately.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, those were, and of course, people, if you have follow-up questions, then whatever answers you receive from Ricardo, please post it because, yeah, if you have any more doubts, we will continue with the demo, which is going amazing. I like the platform. So yeah, let's go to Postwriter. It's that the Postwriter is different from. So the Postwriter is basically the LinkedIn's native post writing platform, right? Or is it the LinkedIn's Pulse article publishing platform? What is it?
Yeah, so this is a tool that we introduced basically yesterday, actually.
Oh, it's
So
yesterday.
I,
It's a new release. Oh
yeah,
shit.
It's
That
we actually
I
it's
like
not
never announced it
it's
yet.
not
it's a
Uh,
surprise. Okay, always works
that's
with the
it's
yeah,
audience.
it's
we
not
like,
on the beautiful RocketHub collateral that you guys made as we roll
um,
past.
but yeah,
Okay, no worries. We get this added because yeah, if it's a new update, pretty much something which goes on with us. So yeah, that's fine.
yeah. So we like to soft launch things at the beginning and just see how people already using the app already pick them up.
Yeah.
That's already a signal for us to see, okay, is there an interest, even if unprompted, right?
Hmm.
Um, so that's something that I always like to do and get some very early feedback on as well. So even on here, there is already a few to dos that I have before we announce it on Monday. Let's say this is a preview. Yeah, so we designed this tool to be a companion to being able to generate post ideas. So maybe I will start with this one. Um, let's, I don't know, just try with something that is not our type of content, because of course we need to think about what other people might be posting about here, and it could be anything really. Um, we of course like to know on whom, like whose behalf you're trying to create this post for. And again, here you can choose whom that person or brand will be.
Hmm.
Let's say it's for Content Radar. We probably changed business in this case. And then this tool helps you creating some very kind of snappy ideas or outlines for something to talk about.
Mm.
So let's.
In the meanwhile, it's happening. We had a question from some of the members who personally DM'd us, and they asked this question about what AI model is being used to get the content out, right? Because they're very much interested to understand the output which is coming in.
Mhm.
Which model was used? So if you guys can like let them know, or like
Yeah, of
what are
course.
you using?
No
That way
problem.
they have more clarity. Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually use a mix of OpenAI and Anthropic's
Yeah. Okay.
LLMs. So
Okay.
each excels at different tasks, and sometimes I'm surprised by who actually does better at what. Um, and yeah, so for example, actually for this tool, we also use Perplexity.
Okay.
So yeah, we basically try to pick the best in terms of being able to
So
convey.
is it a mix? So for example, if I get an output about some content which I repurposed,
Mhm.
so if it's a good content, which model should I give the credit to?
Oh, I that's a good question.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, like, a lot of things which I thought about. Okay, this is something good, but who did that? Which
Content radar. It's
yeah, content
content
did
radar
that.
secret
Yeah,
sauce.
yeah, yes. Okay, that's something. Okay, that's like Coca-Cola. All right.
yeah, I mean, so
Makes
in this
sense.
case, without going too much into the detail, is of course it's a quote unquote collaboration between Perplexity and
Got it.
Claude,
That's good. That's good to hear.
and
Yeah, yeah.
us. We do provide a minimum of direction in terms of like what a good
All right.
idea can look like and what
All right.
about it is. Um, so yeah, in this case, maybe let's pick this idea. I can also access the writer tool with this button, but it will open like a new window. And yeah, I will just copy paste here. Actually, I could just use the button. Um, so let's go to the writer. Yeah, this is something we are going to improve. Um, being able to save essentially the work they've been doing so far. And yeah, let's put it here. And then we work out essentially what is a template for this post. Let's say we want, let's see, maybe a listicle. Or let's see, milestone. Yeah, so we try to basically work out different scenarios you might want to share
Hmm.
something for. And yeah, I think these are just the initial templates. We will be adding a lot more going forward. Um, yeah, let's maybe choose this one. I quite like it because it actually drives a conversation, and I think it could be relevant to this outline up here. So yeah, I will generate the post ideas. Here, we actually try to do some work to also supplement some missing information. Of course, the deal here would be that you can add some of this yourself, but if not, we try to fill in the blanks essentially on your behalf. And yeah, here I would say we have one post, and sometimes, yeah, sometimes it generates more, but I would say this is a post that potentially I quite like already. Yeah. Um, I can save it as a draft, and then yeah, here I have it ready in my post editor. And then from here, I can go about editing it, rewriting it, creating a carousel or a tarot card, so and scheduling it, of
Okay.
course.
Okay. So the cycle then repeats after you have created the content, goes to this editor again. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, from there it can go online or it can be pre-scheduled. And you
Makes
can
sense.
also schedule on behalf of your colleagues or like
Right.
add an approval request. So that is quite handy for agencies or also for companies where a comms manager, for example, is doing content on behalf of others, employee advocacy, as well as for ghostwriters.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, we also, of course, support X. So maybe very quickly, we do a lot of cross posting towards X. So yeah, it is
Mhm.
an example where we have a really like a post and then a short follow up essentially, but you can chain multiple to create an entire thread, of course. You do have the creature comforts, of course, of adding attachments, and you can take either a post in X or LinkedIn and then cross post them to the other platform essentially for convenience. Or sometimes, like I said earlier, you want to extend the shelf life, sorry, of a piece of content, and you want to take that as a kind of source for repurposing on its own. So you end up kind of remixing posts over time, which is also a healthy um,
Got it.
tactic, I would say, within your strategy.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, and people have you guys came up with blog outlines, which is completely different from social. How did you think about that? To go out and of course go in a different territory altogether from the social. So what was your like thought process for the blog
Yeah,
outlines?
I think I mean it's like eating our own dog food and knowing what's included in the content marketing process and day to day. Like what does it consist of? What is time consuming? So our early customers, many of them are a marketing team of
Mm,
one in the B2B organizations. And like 90% of B2B companies use content marketing. So what is this marketing manager, like marketing team of one doing? And so this person needs to take care of socials, and it's very time consuming. Already now with our tool we save hours of time per week. And then the next like must have like task that needs to be done are blogs, right? So you have to do it for SEO, so we will be adding more features, but ideally if you are a startup or like a relatively young company, you should post every second day or so. You should produce content. It's very time consuming, and sometimes it's being solved by having a freelancer, hiring someone in other countries where it's more affordable, but it's still a couple of thousands per month in dollars. As it expands on that, or like hours of time. So we decided if we can automate the two, it's great. So it adds to the suite of like creating an AI powered space for B2B content marketing.
got it. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Cool. All right. Can you also showcase the content calendar once again? Because that's something which even few people had a question about.
Yeah.
How does it work? Or is it is it a comprehensive calendar where you can see and schedule for months to come? Or is it like, okay, just schedule for 1 month, 2 months? How does it work?
So yeah, that's a very good question. So right now you have to schedule yourself each post. Like I mentioned
Hmm.
earlier, we're thinking of ways we can create scheduling queues so that we
Yeah.
take that part, that let's say stress away, and we're able to do some auto scheduling for you. But yeah, right now you take a post and you schedule it. You can do it so however much in the future you would like to. So yeah, I can go ahead. Oh yeah, we have a few posts already scheduled next week. Yeah, I can basically create a post already with a
All
date.
done.
If I want to say, oh, on this day I want to really post something,
Mm,
maybe not Friday the
got it.
17th. uh, for some people it's bad luck. Let's say it's
Right. It's 13th. Yeah, 13th, I think.
Friday the
oh,
13th.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, let's say, yeah, I want to earmark a post for LinkedIn on the 9th. I can simply add a date and not having
Yeah.
to actually put it up for scheduling yet.
All right.
So I can do that. and yeah, I will see basically what in this case Trisha and Katya uh, pre-scheduled already. In this case, in the past, because well, we're kind of at the end of the month, so a lot of this is grayed out.
As you can see, we try to be very consistent with our content, and it pays off. So we have like a very active community on socials.
Yeah, yeah, that's another question people had. Number one, how many users, customers we have for content creator right now? And how many of them are agencies? And if there's any community where people can actually ask you questions, or it's on Discord or Slack or Facebook, wherever your content radar folks hang out, can they join that or stuff like that?
Yes, we have
That's it.
a growing customer base. So for questions, if feature requests, the best way would be to drop
Mhm.
us a line in this feedback form. But then we
Yeah.
also have a WhatsApp group for early customers.
Wow.
So happy to
Okay,
share
that's
that link
unique.
too. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we try to keep it a bit like invite only, so
Mhm.
it would not get too noisy or yeah. But for like very interested users, happy to provide that link as well.
Makes sense.
And
All right.
then yeah, find us on LinkedIn, on X. We have an Instagram channel.
Mhm. Got it. So Twitter, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp, that's where you guys hang out. And of course, if you want to reach out to these guys, they're pretty open to talk to you. So go and
Always,
reach out.
yeah,
Always, right?
anything like email, even
All
calls.
right.
With some people, we just jumped on a call, especially when
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would because we have Rocketeers and everyone here, they're ready to give you feedback every single time, right? They are open 24/7. So they once we have more people waiting to buy, they'll come and they'll give you feedback, and they just want to know where they can give it to you, or they can email it, or just write it on X, stuff like that. So they would always find ways to reach out to you, irrespective. So yeah, that works. All right, that's amazing. Calendar looks good. Okay, now tell people what are your next steps? What are you going to do in the next 1 year? That's where they're interested about. Because we had a lot of questions about other platforms. Because right now you primarily market yourselves as LinkedIn and X, right? Which is your two primary platforms. Any plans for Meta or TikTok or stuff like that?
Yes, definitely. We plan to integrate with more platforms, and as Ricardo was telling in the beginning, explore more formats, like more like image generations, case studies, also potentially video. So we definitely look into it as we are on a mission to give marketeers superpowers and yeah, reduce manual tasks that are still there. Like it takes a lot of hours per day and manual work to create a good marketing strategy, which is something we're looking into as well, to be like your strategic sidekick, not just a repurposing factory. And yeah, to put it out there and to make this content actually convert.
Okay, and got it. So that's one. Which and other things. What are your plan in the pipeline? I think what you can do is you can show the roadmap right now on the screen,
Mhm.
and that way I think you will have people can see. Okay, this is what they're working on.
Yeah, let's. Oops. Oop. Okay.
Or maybe like from our website. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I remembered it, but no. um,
All right,
okay,
there you go.
so we have a lot of quality of life improvements, I have to say. I was already mentioning a few where the UX is less than ideal still, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say we're quite new, so we're still figuring out the best way to make something work.
Yep.
Um, there are a few things related to manage better multiple workspaces. So yeah, we realized that many folks from getting the RocketHub deal are also buying multiple workspaces,
Mm-hmm.
and that means you probably are an agency or need essentially to keep an eye on multiple things going on at the same time. And yeah, that's something that we will add soon as well. Um, yeah, we're basically get going to try to get a bit more capable and smarter. By smarter, I mean just being able to show you better data and more relevant insight
Mm-hmm.
related to your content.
Got it.
So
Okay.
that pretty basic analytics page is also something that yeah, we have a lot of plans for. And yeah, like Katya mentioned, expanding essentially the realm of possibilities in terms of being able to
Yeah.
ingest and output different types of content. Particularly, we look forward to graphics and video as being kind of the next big
Yeah, video.
factor.
Video is big. Video is big, and we had people asking about, hey, do these guys have video? Because video is something which a lot of apps have introduced, and that's why when they compare, they say, okay, video is something which I'm going to use a lot because they post on YouTube, right?
Mhm.
Because creating video content is the toughest of all, right? Of
Yeah,
course, you can like plan your Twitter post or LinkedIn post, get some ideas, but creating a video, you need a lot of time. You need you need an editor. You need all of that kind of technical things to make sure that okay, you are publishing something which is very good. So yeah, I think, but for everyone seeing this, I think video is a bit far away because what these people are focusing on, what the team is focusing on, is making sure that you have a better like view of doing things, and whatever is planned in the roadmap is, I think, based on the priority of your working. If I'm not wrong, right?
yeah,
Okay, makes sense. Cool. Thank you
yeah.
so much for showing this. It
Of
looks
course.
pretty promising. Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks. Cool. Now I have some questions for you, which many people curated, and let's also address one of the questions about Twitter, right? So because that's an elephant in
Yeah.
the room. So what do you have to say about? Yeah, I'll just read out the question because that's came out like a lot of times.
Mhm.
So with Twitter charging for API, is the cost sustainable? About the Twitter API, there's another tool that had to charge users for Twitter costs of because of the API. So yeah, what do you have to say about that? Because many people had that concern. Yeah, so if you want to like take it out of the way.
Yeah, maybe on that. So yes, we are building this AI-powered workspace for content
Yep.
marketing, and until now, since we launched on Product Hunt a couple of months ago, the vast majority of our users, they use our tool for LinkedIn. What is being used quite a bit is a cross post to Twitter feature.
Yep.
So basically, they curate their LinkedIn presence, as it also makes sense given the fact that there are 1 billion people on LinkedIn right now. So it's like 1/8 of the world population. So yeah, you'd rather be there and you'd rather have a presence on LinkedIn, especially as a business or as an agency, as a professional. So people do that. And then as they put so much effort into it, they're like, okay, let's do something on X too, like once per week or whatever. So for now, we haven't had a problem of hitting the limits. What we do now is we have an end user limit of maximum of 200 posts per workspace per month. So it's a
Mm.
lot. So for now, we did not have uh, heavy users hitting that limit. Having said that, we do have a couple of customers who are in like Web3 blockchain space. So for them, Twitter is important,
Yeah.
but even they haven't complained yet.
In a
So
nutshell, yeah.
in a nutshell, yeah,
In terms
it's
of
yeah,
longer term feasibility, though, so we are right now on the basic plan. Actually, our goal would be to upgrade to the pro plan as soon as we can from a financial standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about financials, yeah, we're able to pay for that more basic plan for a long while, a very long while. So that wouldn't be a
Mm-hmm.
problem. Um, it's of course once you step to the pro, that is I think 5K a month, that of course we need to make sure our finances are more in order.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, I would say uh, if we are on track with things the way we want to, it's something that we can actually already start doing from a second half of next year.
Makes sense. And yeah, it makes sense because a lot of companies they were prompted by Twitter to upgrade. And if you guys are keeping the FUP, which means the people who are using the tool, they already know their limits as well. And that's how
Yeah,
we at RocketHub we crafted the plans because we know that okay, we have to protect you first from
exactly.
the Twitter shite which Elon Musk created. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was all rosy before he came out, right?
Pretty much. But yeah, I think it's also it's been a bit of a trend as well with other people limiting API access. I'm thinking also Reddit to some extent
Makes
for
sense.
developers. I think it's something we will need to be ready for, and it means that we as companies, people that provide services and products need to actually start planning financially better for these kind of occurrences.
Hmm.
Um, Also, who knows what other competitor of X
Mm,
comes tomorrow? We might
exactly.
want or need
Yeah.
to jump there.
You have Blue Sky. Blue
Yeah,
Sky is something which you should look at because they are growing crazy because we have seen people mentioning Blue Sky as well. I said, "What
oh,
is
that's
it?"
very interesting.
Because we in Asia haven't heard about it. I think it's something which is brewing up in the West, but it's definitely something which will again blow up. So I think if you guys want to take a look at that, they might replace some of the things which X is doing. But
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
interesting.
I would say as a user, I actually already made the quote unquote switch. A lot of the creators that I'm following are already there, and um, it's generally a very nice environment, I have to say. So I think we might want to consider that at some point, Kathy, as well.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, social media landscape is a very dynamic one. So platforms have their peak, and then there are other platforms that eclipse them. So yeah, we will definitely follow the trends and where the usage is, because at the end of the days we are told to make you more productive using socials and getting your content out there.
Hmm. Makes sense. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think that answers most of the questions, and I think many people might will have more as we go,
Mhm.
and as you have more sessions with other communities, because this is Rocketeers, which are kind of doing it, but next week you have more coming up. So I'll leave some more questions for them. But for now, I think we are done. Thank you so much for your time. The demo was good. I like the product because what I was seeing in the back end, we're getting a lot of DMs. People are saying it's a good thing if we brought on. So yeah, we let's get more sales. That's what our target is for next week and this week. Because now the BFCM thing has started. So yeah, let's do it. And anything you have to say before we wrap up to the community?
Well, thank you for the time. It's been great. I think Kat and I have learned a lot in the process ourselves in terms of also, um, yeah, really financing the messaging of what we're doing, right? And I
Yep.
think getting feedback uh, from a lot of the customers coming from Rocket Hub has been invaluable, to say the least.
Hmm.
And
Cool.
yeah, we look forward to make them and more future customers happy.
Awesome. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good. Sounds positive. Yeah, thank you so much, folks. We will meet you guys next week with other communities. I will join in as well while they take you over uh, with their 20,000 people, 11,000 people who are already waiting for you. So yeah, right now all done for today. Thank you so much for joining in again. Thank you so much for taking out time. Everyone who joined left, attended, and then who's going to see this tomorrow or during the weekend, because for sure they will be having more questions. Yeah, Brett joined right now. Brett, you can watch it. I know you're still in the Thanksgiving Thanksgiving space. I think so. So yeah, weekend is for you. Weekend is when you all kind of catch up with everything we discussed. So yeah, thanks so much, folks, for joining in. And Katya and Ricardo,
Yeah,
I'll have a talk with you like at the backstage right now. I'll just meet up, catch
perfect.
up. But yeah, we have our people kind of go so that they can kind of spend more time with their families, have a good weekend, and yeah, they could take things further. So yeah, thank you so
And
much.
for
Get content creator
questions,
on
yeah,
Rocket Hub right now. And for questions, Katya is there and Ricardo.
ping us on
Ping
LinkedIn,
us.
and if you want to be join the WhatsApp community, we can make it happen. Otherwise, yeah, we're very accessible. Feedback form
Yep,
or just talk to us on LinkedIn.
they're pretty open. They're pretty open
Thanks,
to talk
Karen.
to you.
Yeah,
So yeah, anytime, anytime. So always with you guys. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
ciao.